What is going on, Wastelanders? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, with a morning coffee gaming news video. So the question for today's video is, what video games do you think can really benefit from either adding a solo campaign mode or improving their current or existing solo or single player campaign mode? Let me know in the comments below. So related to today's question is the fact that Titanfall 2 is going to be having a single player campaign. Of course, if you play the original Titanfall, you'll know that it did not have a single player campaign. It had the multiplayer aspect, of course, and I believe there is a story somewhere twisted in there, but it wasn't your traditional single player campaign. And I know a lot of people wanted to see that for Titanfall, including myself. Don't get me wrong, the multiplayer was a lot of fun. I loved the mechs, I loved the wall running, I loved everything about that game. However, it lost my interest relatively quickly, and I just really thought that at the time, and still to this day, that Titanfall really could have benefited from a single player campaign. Just looking at it from a lore aspect and just given the mechs or titans that you could play as, it would just make for incredibly interesting storytelling and narrative if it was done right. Again, I mentioned that they tried to include a story element, like for example when you were playing you could see some characters pop up in the bottom right or left, or probably the top corners, whatever, but you could see them pop up in the corners and tell you things about the mission objectives, etc. But it wasn't a fully fleshed out story, and that's what I really wanted to see. And of course a great way to do that is by having a single player campaign, and I always love to see games try and focus on a single player campaign, or at least have a solid single player campaign. We know that with Call of Duty there's been less focus and emphasis on that over the years, so much so that people are literally either just jumping straight to zombies and to multiplayer. And also you had Ken Levine last year who came out to say that single player narratives like your Bioshock games are dwindling down. So if this is the future, if we are going to be having mostly games with a multiplayer aspect, at least let's still try to stick with a single player campaign and try to utilize those traditional aspects of gaming that many of us still love to this day. I know it's expensive and I know it's a long development, and I know that your stats may show you that most gamers will just go on to play the multiplayer aspect anyways, but having a single player campaign in a game does so much more for replayability, just so much more for content, and does so much more for value. So anyways, Wastelanders, I would love to get your thoughts on this topic. Please put them in the comments below. Now until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.